All right, all right. Hey, my friend, how are you?
Good, Matt, and you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready for our weekly naked discussion. I really love these, and I really wonder what we're going to talk about today. We talk on the phone this week about the concept of being radical in our honesty, and I think it's a. I think I wanted to talk to you about that today because I had couple of situations in my week around it,
Yeah,
and
yeah, but just
that's
just wait
the
a second. Like, can we say that we have been honest in our starting of this podcast when we're like, "How are you? Oh, I'm good." And you? Oh, yeah, I'm good. I
what do
feel
you
like we give. I
mean?
feel like we give. The answer on the street that you give. Like you're talking about honesty, so let's go. And we don't. By the way, we don't do an intro. Like we're really going directly for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Like the answer that you give on the street, like when people at job or anything like, hi, hey, how are you doing this morning? Hey, I'm good. And you, how are you doing? And everybody says, oh, yeah, I'm good. It's exactly the same thing.
Total bullshit.
So, welcome to Naked, the podcast about authenticity.
Let's. What is funny about our podcast is that we learn as much as we speak, and this I really love. You're right. Like we should start right from these little sentences, like these little comforting sentence that we say machinally all the time. Hey, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How about you? I'm good. Like when inside you feel like total crap. You had like the worst day of your life. You just like the worst maybe answer you can give is like, oh, yeah, I'm so
I'm
so.
okay. I'm okay.
I'm okay. I'm good. When your dog just died, like, why do we do
Or
that?
I don't know. Like it's funny because you talked to me about that, and you're from Quebec, and I'm gonna talk to you again about the comedian Laurent Paquin that I'm telling you to watch, and has this show about all his relative,
Mm-hmm.
based on what happened in his life. And he says about that in his show, and he's like, imagine that you give the right answer, like it's like, uh, you know, I'm not good, like my wife just left, my kids like don't talk to me, and I feel like shit. But hey, you know what? It's life. Imagine giving that. Imagine you arrive on the Friday morning and you give that as an answer to your coworkers. How to start a morning.
Well, it's really funny because it really makes me think about that movie I've watched not long ago, which is The Invention of Lying. I don't know if you saw it.
No, who
It's
is it
pretty
with?
much the
Do you
what?
remember? Who is it with? Do you remember? Or?
The guy that do super bad. I remember he's in that. I think it's a British movie. It's pretty good. The beginning is amazingly funny, and it's about that. The people just cannot lie. They just always tell all the time the truth and without any filter, any mask. And I believe that's an amazing concept that we should input more in our life. I also believe in balance. I don't think, and that's what I want to talk with you today because that concept of radical honesty, it's radical, it's fine, but I also believe in balance, and I don't believe that much in extremes. So I'm not sure that all the time we should be super radically honest, but I really do believe we should be transparent and authentic, and but to know where sometime uh, I don't know, like you should keep things for yourself, and maybe I'm wrong,
I think
what's
the
your take
problem
on
is
that part?
yeah, for me the problem in the radical honesty is with the radical. It's not with the honesty part. Um, I'm good with honesty. Even if I believe that even if it frustrates people, even if people don't want to hear it, it's good to be honest with people. I don't believe necessarily in the radical one, because radical will mean like you say whatever go through your mind without taking any gloves or something like that. You know, depending on who, it's good to have a bit of empathy, you know, when you're talking to people. So this is why I'm okay with a concept, you know, and I totally respect people doing that. At the same time, as you said, I think you have to find a balance, no?
Well, what would be the I don't know, the percentage that we should use? Like, should it be like 80% honesty and 20% just saying nothing, or keeping things for ourselves, or having empathy, or 90-10, or like, what do you think? If it's
Oh,
not fully
you're
radical.
okay. You're bringing different concept there. So first of all, I like what Jordan Peterson says. You know, I think
I
in
like
his
everything he
book,
says.
I think in his book, you know, 12 rules for life, or 12 rules of life, or something like that. One of his rules is like, um, be always honest, or at least don't lie. I think that's good. You know, that's good to say that, which is like, maybe you can't be honest, maybe you can't say the truth all the time, but at least don't lie. I think that's a good thing. But it's really hard to say that, because at the same time we're lying all the time. As I said, you know, it's small lies, like, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm good. You know, it's a small lie, and we're like, oh yeah, but it doesn't really matter, because it's a small lie.
So
I don't
should we
know.
use small lies?
That's a good question. That's a
Yeah,
good
I
question.
also think this one is really tricks me, because I think they're the most um, hurtful. Not hurtful. That's not the right word. I think they are the most. They do the most damage over
because
time. All the
because they're
little,
very
like,
insidious.
yeah, because it makes you, it becomes a habit to just tell those little white lie. And over time, the more you, like, if you just think about it, if you do like 10, 15, 20, 50, I don't know, like 100 little white lie a day, what's real? What is the truth? Like, how can you know if someone, how can you trust someone? For me, it's also the trust issue. I have a lot of discussion with my partner, that around trust and around being authentic and transparent. And that's why I wanted to start that podcast with you, about the naked concept, the way of talking about truthing, even if you don't like it. I think people, another really important concept is that
Don't
people,
bring too much concept at the same time. Go slowly.
no, you know, that's how I do it. That's how I do it.
And
It's
another concept that but that, you see, like what you're saying about bringing another concept on another concept. I think this is the problem of lying. Is that when you start lying, and I'm not talking about the small lie, like, yeah, I'm good because I don't want to talk about it, you know, and so, you know, you discard basically the conversation. This is a way to end the conversation and not talking about it. It's when you lie to cover another lie. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not that of a liar.
No, but
I'm not sure about that. I mean,
not you.
I would say I'm quite honest in life, and it's really important for me to try to not go into that road. So if I would search my mind, I would not have any lie to cover any lie that I have right now. I had in the past, but yeah, I understand your concept, and I think you bury your whole yourself, like, when you do that, and it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the person you're lying to. Uh, but if we go back to the radical honesty, I think that's really related to what we're doing right now. We're being naked, talking without any script, without even knowing what we'll talk about 15 minutes before we record that. And it lets us be really vulnerable, really transparent, and having, for me, it's how you connect to the feelings of the other person. Really, that's when you have, when you have this conversation, uh, when we talk together, and some of our discussion will raise the energy, but will just stay at a certain level. But some of the conversation, they really go high in energy and feel really connected to each other. And that's how you build better relationship with people. Well, it's all the time when that dynamic is there, and when the energy goes really high, it's because everyone is truly open. They
Yeah.
remove the mask, the layers, the filters, and then you can finally see who that person is, what's the truth inside there. And the more you dig, the more you see that we're all the same, we all have the same problem, we deal with them differently. And by being super open, we grow so much. That's why I'm an advocate of authenticity, of transparency, of honesty, because when you don't do it, when you lie, nobody wins. You think you're winning. You think you're winning for yourself when you lie, but you don't. You hurt yourself. You hurt your growth. You hurt your evolution as a person, and you hurt the other person in her evolution. And it's funny because I found out that a lot of the way we talk and communicate, or the way our pattern of filtering things, are really around not hurting the people.
But we live in a world of filters. How can you not say? I mean, you know, when I hear you, it's funny because in my head it's like I'm hearing a preacher, you know, and it's good, everything you say, you know, I found it awesome and all that, but at the same time, it's a path that comes back to certain of our episodes where we were saying, you know, how to be your true self, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking from my own experience also, because, you know, when you were talking about honesty and how it hurts other people and how it may hurt you, and I think you're lying more because you don't want to be hurt, or because you don't want to be rejected. You know, we come back to that, the fear of rejection, or you want to fit into something. So we come back also to that concept of fitting, than doing it because you want to do it. I don't believe people lie because they want to lie. No? Do you think they lie
Just
because they want to lie?
just a small amount of people. Just, I've known such people. My ex-partner, business partner, was like that. But we're talking about like really high level narcissism, and they lie because that's how. Well, I found out that they just lie because that's how they get love, or inside it, really on the deep level of it. They like to stay in control, and they want to be in control because that's how they think that they're gonna get love. But I think I'm really in the same. I agree with you that that most of the time people don't lie consciously, or it's not because they want to lie. It's always to protect something. It's to protect themselves or to protect the other. But the point I wanted to make just earlier is that what people don't see is that you're not protecting anyone from hurt. You're hurting more by lying. And
Even if the people don't know?
yes,
How?
because for me it's the same concept as hatred. You know what I'm sure you know about what Nelson Mandela said about hatred, or about what's the right word, is it hatred? So he says hating someone is drinking poison and by hoping the other person will die. So basically you're just hurting yourself when you hate, when you lie, when you try to remove harm from people. I will tell you why. In my opinion and my beliefs, it hurts more to lie. Because when you lie to someone, it's because you think that they cannot handle it. You think that you're going to protect them because they need to be protected. So all your reason around that just mean that you see them small. You see the other person small. You see the other person not being able to handle the truth, not being able to have critical thinking, or just be able to manage their emotions. So you make them small and you act accordingly, so you keep them small. And you think by doing that you will help them. But what you don't see is that you're not helping, because if you really love, or you wanted to help, you would say what you think is right, what you think is the truth, and you will see them as a grown up human being that can handle these things. And if they can't, that's where they are, and it will make them evolve and grow and advance in their own personal journey, which is what you want if you love someone. It goes to my belief around what is love, and what is love is wanting the best for someone, is accepting someone as the powerful and valuable human being they are, and just wanting the best for them, wanting their growth, wanting their evolution. So if you love them, sometimes you gotta say things that are true, that you gotta say, you gotta be honest, you gotta say the real thing around these issues, and this is how you help someone. So you don't help anyone by lying to them. You think you do, but what you really do is you're being selfish for yourself.
Yeah, like, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. You see, like, this is where, with everything that you said, like, to be honest, I didn't agree with almost everything you said. Because, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm totally honest with you. It's because I think that when you said at the end you're being selfish, and I believe that most of the lies comes from it's cowardice. There's nothing to do with anything else. It's because you fear confrontation. It's because you fear the reaction of someone else. It's because you don't want to enter, for example, you don't want to say, I don't know, to your partner or something, and you don't want to say the truth. So you're going to say, oh, small lie. And it's okay, because with a small lie, I go away. If I tell the truth, maybe he or she is going to take it badly. If he or she is going to take it badly, maybe it's going to go into a fight. If we go into a fight, what can happen? Oh, maybe I'm going to lose them, or maybe, I'm going to have to justify myself. I don't think it has to do with thinking about the other person when you're doing it. But that's what I believe in.
Yeah.
And
in fact,
yeah, go for it.
No, just go.
No, I said I understand your point, because I think it's excuses that we give to ourselves. It's saying, I'm not going to say that to them or I'm going to tell them that during the weekend, because, during the weekend they can go out, they're not at work, so that way they can maybe handle the truth a different way. It's, it's that kind of things, no?
Yeah, that's the deepest, or a level deeper in the understanding and explanation, is that exactly what you said I believe is true. The excuse you give yourself is that you don't want to hurt the other, but the real thing behind is that you don't think really about the other. You think about how it will impact you, what the reaction of the other, how it will impact you, your relationship, your status quo. And it made me think about, I don't remember where I saw that. I know it was in a book, and I think it's I think, is it The Road Less Traveled? It's from Scott Peck. It's an amazing book, one of my favorite.
I didn't read that, so I don't know.
Okay, well, it's amazing. You should read it. So at some point in there, it goes in a bit in the same direction as Jordan Peterson, but a bit different. So basically, what he says is that you should never lie when it's to your advantage. If you lie to make sure that you benefit from it, then you should not. But if there's a situation where it is really beneficial for the other party that you keep an information for you, and it is not for you, it's not benefiting you, it's benefiting the other person, or let's say because there's another really important side from that discussion, is that there's the mental health of the person you're talking to. We gotta take that into account. At some point, someone may be so unstable or already in a chaotic situation that if you just bring something that's just gonna make everything worse, and maybe it's already really hard to handle, then the empathy or the compassion may be necessary at this time, and then you wait that the person gets his ground back, and then you can tell the truth. So if it benefits the other person only, then it's like a necessary white lie. And this concept I really struggled with when I read it, because I was really super radical around, no, you should never lie, you should always tell the truth. And I say that, and I probably lie a couple times a day also without really knowing it, but that's my focus. But when I read that, it made me think a lot about this issue, and I came up with that understanding of, if a person is really not in a position to hear something, and you just know it, and you can measure the impact of what you're going to say is going to really bring more chaos, maybe you should wait. And it's not to benefit you, because you would say it then or after, and it would not really change anything for you, but it would benefit the other person to not hurt them too much right now. I think there's something to discuss about that issue. I really wonder what you think about that.
You just made me think that I think that whether you're in radical honesty or lies, it only benefits you. But I don't, because I don't believe in disinterested acts. I don't believe in that. It's funny because the first concept I had about that is this episode in Friends. I know, you bring books, I bring friends.
I never watched Friends. I watched How I Met Your Mother.
Okay. So there is this episode in Friends where, there is Phoebe, and Phoebe tries to explain to Joey that there is no disinterested acts, and there is disinterested acts. And Joey is trying to say to her, like, there is no disinterested acts. Each act will always bring you something. And so during all the episode, she tries to do things, but each time, she's happy about something, and so she's like, no, like I shouldn't be happy about that and everything. And so at the end, Joey's like, answering phones for money, like people give money and a donation, and he answers the phone. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to give like 200 to the charity. And so, he's just giving away money. I'm not doing that to get something in return. But the funny thing that happens is that when it's Joey that takes the call, and she explained to him that, and by doing so, is being recognized, and so he passed on TV, he's the one that got this last 200. And so suddenly she's super happy, and she's like, oh, damn, I'm again, like, because of me, he got this. And that's the thing, is that I believe that people do things because there is an interest for them all the time. So if they lie, it's because there is an interest for them. Even if they, are honest with themselves on why they're doing it, it's another question. But when they're doing it, when you look into it, when you look at the root cause, really, why, there is an interest for them. But I believe also for the honesty, also, there is an interest for them.
That's really interesting. So should we talk about the balance of benefit instead? And if the benefit is more for on your side, you better not lie. But if it benefits more the other person, then it would be okay.
I guess it's always the way you bring stuff. I think you're right, in what the person is saying in his book is that, are you doing that so that way there is a way the person grows, and that way there is a way that this person will okay, I'm gonna okay, I'm sure we were about to talk about it. I'm gonna talk to you about dating nowadays.
All right.
Let's have some fun.
Now we're talking.
I think we're not going to talk about something that is funny, but we're going to talk about something. I think the most crazy thing that if you want to see how society can be bad, go to the dating apps, because it's brutal. It's brutal. It's really brutal. The biggest concept I got since I started, the apps and all that, which I started approximately a year or something ago, is that when I got ghosted the first time. So for the people that
you got what?
I got ghosted.
Oh.
So, and when I mean ghosting, is not that you started to talk to someone just by text and then they don't answer. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about and I'm honest. I've been also like a culprit of doing that. It's that you meet someone multiple times or whatever, and then you just don't talk to them anymore. Even if they talk to you, you just don't answer. And it's brutal. It's really brutal, because the first time that it happens to you, you're like, what have I done wrong?
So it's like the total opposite of radical honesty. You just don't say anything.
You just don't say anything. And I'm not saying necessarily all the cases, because sometimes there is like, we went to, and you see that, you don't feel good in that date or meeting that person, and the person feels the same thing, and nobody nobody like pursue the thing. So, it's like, okay, nobody's pursuing the thing, so that's it. But it's more, imagine that you have been even 2 or 3 weeks with someone, and suddenly some people like ghost at that point. Can you imagine what people feel?
Yeah.
What would you feel? First of all, did it happen to you, and what would you feel?
Well, I haven't used the dating app a lot in my life, really. But yeah, I think it happened to me. And it's really funny when you think about it, because the only thing you would have to say is, look, I know we talked. I know we spent some time together maybe, but my feeling changed and I'm not interested anymore, so I won't be talking to you anymore.
Yeah, or you met
which is the total truth.
Yeah, or you met
someone else. Or I met someone else. And it's so easy. And it removes kind of a game, so many. Right?
It's kind of a game. You're on the dating app, so like it's not,
But it just shows how we don't care about others when you do that, and and how you don't care about you, because you're gonna get ghosted also. And it would be so easy, and it would like, you do that because, again, you do that for two reasons. You do that because either you don't want to take the time to say that to the other person, or and it benefits you, but maybe you just don't want to tell them that you finally, whatever, like you don't want to tell them what's wrong. But in the end, if you will save everyone time, hurt, bad negative thought or whatever, if you would just say the truth. Hey, look, I met someone else, I won't be talking to you anymore. Or, hey, it was fun at first, but now it's dull, so I'm leaving, like whatever. And yeah,
you're so mean. You're so mean. You're so mean. You can't say that. You see, I'm even saying myself, you can't say that.
No.
But it's the famous, it's not you, it's me. You know this sentence, it's not you, it's me?
Yeah, but I don't dislike this sentence at all, because
I dislike it so much. I dislike it so much.
Yeah, but it's because in
I
a
hear
way
bullshit,
it's
bullshit,
true.
bullshit. No,
No,
I
no, no.
don't.
In
I
a way,
don't.
it's you. It's true.
What?
Sorry. In a way, it's true.
It's me. It's
It's you. It's you the problem, Phil.
it's me. I know.
No, in a way, it's really true because at least you're not trying to put the burden of your decision or your emotion on the other person. That's exactly what I was about to say. When you say I'm mean, why do you say I'm mean? If I said you are wrong, you're ugly, you're a bitch or whatever, you throw that at the other person, or you say, look, I was interested, I was feeling something, now I'm not feeling anything, and I just not interested anymore.
Yeah,
So
but
you're just telling the,
like
but
you
what?
can't. No, like I've been on dates where people start to say racist things, you know, and
What?
you can be like, oh, sorry, like.
Why would you be?
you know,
Yeah,
you know, like you're gonna send a text like, okay, sorry, like I just discovered you're racist, so you know what? That's a no for me. It's like,
Oh man, I'm totally different than you on that. And I would say exactly that. I would say, look, it was fine until now, but I really don't like that racism, and for me, it's a no go. So
no,
let's
but
just
because it's because
pass
people
on.
don't, as I said to you, people don't want to enter in this long explanation. It's so funny that we talked about that because I knew it will bring like some laugh and some discussion about that. Just because that's a funny thing, you know. It's like, but it's not you, it's me. Why I believe it's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Wait a
when you're,
second. Come back to the mic because you're far away.
oh, sorry, I'm here. No, you can't hear me. Hello.
Yeah, it's fine now.
I think we're gonna be 2 hours in this conversation, but anyway, it's not you, it's me. It's because, and this is, always about honesty and always about kind of lying. Is that you have done some breakups, right, in your life?
Yeah.
Um, I remember my first breakup, right? I mean, my first, like, after a long time and everything, and I know how immature I was. I know how immature I was when you look at it, because I was like, trying to say like it's not you, it's me bullshit, which is about, oh yeah, I don't feel blah blah blah, or I don't see us going that way, or I don't. When when you look in reality and you're being honest with yourself, it's not about that. As you said, like, if I tell you something like, oh, if this person is racist, well, you continue, you say no, because I will say it was good until now, but you said you were racist, because racist is so radical in one way that for you it's a no-go. But when someone is nice and all that, but you don't go in certain concept, you I don't know, like some things that they do in the morning, or something that they do in the evening, or some ideas that they have.
Tell me a real life example.
I'm looking for one.
I'm sure you had bad breakups. I had a lot.
Yeah. For me, it's like, for example, is selfishness. Um, and it's selfishness. It's when people are thinking more about themselves during when you're in couple. And it's not done on purpose. That's the thing. This is what I want to explain. I say it's selfishness, but don't imagine the thing like someone is doing that on purpose and someone is doing. It's the way they are. It's because it's the way they're raised, and it's the way they have been grown up, and it's the way they're inside them, right? And it's really
You're
hard to
getting
have this
onto some
conversation.
funny terrain now. I think you're
It's
peeling a layer of
yeah,
your onion. I like it.
yeah. It's because it's really hard to have this conversation where it's like, I you can have some fight on that, but it's really hard to go one day and be like, look, that's enough. That's enough. I can't do anymore in that. Because I'm
What's
not
funny
like
is that
that.
your argument just assume that they've been always selfish. But if you would think about it, like for months they can think about making sure that even if it would be just like she cooks for you or like things like that, it's not selfish. It's taking care of you. But at some point, you're focusing on the decision, the ending decision, or saying, look, it's not you, it's me, whatever. But what I hear, and what it's really, really funny is that, and I also been like that, and I'm seeing that for myself right now, is that when a person say to you, look, like, let's end this because it's not about you, it's about me. That's the real, at this moment, the person is being real. I would say most of the time, maybe not always, but I would say most of the time. But the problem is you are attached to that and you don't believe it. It's your ego that's in the way, and you want, I think for us, because we are both like that, I know it, we have this pattern of not being good enough. So we're trying to always be more, to be better, to be perfect at what we do, to be like the nice guy in the relationship, and to be like a really good partner. So when the person tells you that, and when you have that attitude inside, what it tells you, you cannot believe it, because it confirms, or what you see is that it confirmed that you are not good enough again, and you don't want to accept that. Your mind is not wired to take what she said and just say, oh, that's perfect. It was not my fault. I was not good enough. She just told me it's her, it's not me. I think it's who react to it.
Where I see, because for me, it's being in a couple is a question of compatibility, right? It's how compatible you're with this person, whether it's your projects, values, what you drink at night, doesn't matter, but your political maybe choices. It's all about incompatibilities, and other things with the interest maybe that you have or you don't have, how all that is compatible. And
your horoscope, your numerology, all that.
Possibly, your blood types. But I discovered a lot of that by a friend, and for example, the Asians are really good at that, because they're choosing the partner based on compatibility and not necessarily just about love. Mm-hmm. Too extreme, but again, because it's not you, it's me. Where it doesn't work for me, it's because it's a problem in the couple, in the compatibility. And this is where I say it's not honest, it's a lie when you say that. For me, it's a lie. It's a little lie. I mean, it's not a lie, it's an alpha truth. Okay? What I mean by that is the fact that when you look at it, it's because you're not compatible with that person. And you have to be intellectually honest to say in what you're not compatible and explain that to that person.
Oh yeah, so what you mean is that it's too easy just to say it's not you, it's me, and not getting into the explanation.
Exactly.
I get it.
It's a lie. This is why I'm saying it's a lie. We're talking about radical honesty, and this is why I'm saying it's a lie.
I don't believe it's a lie. I believe it's not telling the whole story, but it's still true. Because if the person takes a decision, when you take a decision for yourself, it's really not the problem. It's me who's taking that decision. I'm deciding to not continue that because
you're not taking the decision alone. You're taking the decision based on the other person. You're with someone, and the more time you have been with someone, the more for human decency in a certain way, to explain why, I believe. But this is my belief. Right?
Yeah, I also think that, but the person that decides to leave something, it has to think for themselves. You cannot like break a relationship and think that everything will go well and that you'll talk about it sitting having a glass of wine. Let's just look, I don't feel really much love for you anymore, or like I don't like when you do that, and I decided that I'm gonna go away and just end this, and let's cheers to that. That's never gonna happen. Like it's impossible. So at one point you gotta take a decision for yourself. It's absolutely almost impossible that the other person won't be hurt.
I know it's not about getting hurt, but I got some bad breakup and I got some good breakup. I'm honest with you by being honest. Because if you're being honest and if you're being truthful, so which is, for example, we don't have the same projects in life. I don't want that for my life while you want that for your life. How is that compatible? And if both persons are intellectually honest in the discussion, I believe that, yeah, people will be hurt and it still will be messy and all that, but people will reflect on that and say, you know what, they were right. When you say it's not you, it's me, you feel the bullshit a little bit, and this is where it becomes really messy.
On that, I agree. Like we're talking about different things. My point was just that sentence is not a lie because it's really the person thinking about themselves. But yes, the more honest you are, and the more you tell everything what's going on, and you have a discussion about it, the best can come out of it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
may even heal. You may even heal the relationship, or you may end the relationship in a good way, like you said. So we're still coming back to that transparency, to that being authentic. And being authentic, you're right, is not just saying, "Oh, it's not you, it's me," and let's finish that. Like it's just. I also think it's unrespectful. Like if you had some love for the person in the first place, you just I mean, you don't have to, but it just shows a lot about the person if you take the time to be honest. And our whole point, I think, around this discussion is around when should you be super honest? Should you be all the time? Like our podcast is about being naked. For me, being naked, let me explain exactly for me what it is. I thought about it the other day, and I didn't want to think about it in extremes. And I really got a nice image around what it is to be naked. It's not you're naked or you're not. So what I saw, and it's funny because it took back the analogy of the onion. Just imagine you're an onion, okay? When you remove one layer, like before, let's look at the second layer. The second layer, before you remove the first layer, it's coated. It has like a protection. So if you remove that first layer, the second layer is now naked. But the third layer is still coated. It's not fully naked. But if you remove the second layer, then the third layer is naked. So you always play back and forth with those truth and how you're being truthful, how you say the real thing. Each time you peel a layer of the onion, you're being truthful, you're being transparent, you're being authentic and naked to that particular place inside of you. And I think that's what it is. And I think you should not just cut the onion in half and just show the inside, because I mean, you can do that, but it won't make you better. It won't make you more naked or than someone else that just removed one layer. Because when you remove one layer, the whole second layer is naked. And that's the way to advance in that transparency, that authenticity, which I think we should strive for. And I think that's what we do with this podcast. And I really see our discussion every time every week and every time we speak, I can see layers coming off. And so we're just being naked all the time. Maybe we have a super huge onion with 100 layers, but I think that the only important thing for me is that every time we strive to remove one peel, and we just poof, we have a moment of authenticity, we have a moment of truth. And the more we do that, it becomes a habit of going more and more towards the truth without thinking that it's going to benefit you or the other and going to hurt yourself or the other or all that bullshit. You just say it. You just remove a layer, boom, being truthful, radical, and you deal with whatever is happening. What's naked for you? What's this discussion and being naked and authentic really mean for you?
As I said to you, like the first time we talked about that, and I think that was a better definition for me. It's being at peace with myself. And what I mean by that is the fact that when I'm saying things, when I'm having relationship with people, when I'm having whatever the type of relationship, whether it's at work, friendship, it's being my true self. So I try not to lie. I try not to lie as much as possible. Sometimes I lie because I don't want to enter a discussion. I do I'm good, or or I say I'm not good, but I don't want to talk about it. So at least I'm honest a certain way. But being naked for me, it depends on the situation. I think that there is this concept about being naked, which is like I'm showing my full self. Where it's not. I don't think this is where what is the full concept for me. When we're discussing together, I think I'm showing a lot of myself, at least the parts I know, because at the beginning, to be naked is knowing yourself. If you don't know yourself, how can you be naked? That's for me the beginning. But depending on the relationship that you have, you will find what it means to be naked, and there is different level of nakedness. Does that make sense?
Totally, and that's what I think is the real value of when we talk together, is that the whole discussion, it will have spike of truth, spikes of honesty, spikes of authenticity, and you can just feel it. You just feel the thing being true, being rising up, and you can kind of how do you say that, like how you can see when it's your head that's talking, or your filter, or everything going through your filter, and then boom, a layer come off, and there's the truth that's coming off, and we're just putting out ourselves on the table, and that I really enjoy. I feel more and more connected to you, which is really amazing. Like just doing that for me, that the only benefit I would really care about is how our relationship together is improving as a
oh
as
yeah,
friends.
totally. I love that also. It's that's the thing, is being naked also for me is as I said earlier, it's not totally, but yeah, it's selfish also with you.
Yeah, and and what you said about you cannot, like, you're not opening yourself all the way to someone, and I think it's impossible. I think that concept of reaching the total transparency and total nakedness to someone is just impossible. There's only you who can know everything about you inside. Like you can be with someone, like you told me last time, like you told me, hey,
Yeah. This is what I was thinking about so much.
and you told me we've known each other for 10 years, and since,
Yeah,
are you discovering new things
but
about me? Like, yeah, because
yeah,
you're evolving all the time, and we're talking, and I'm discovering new things. So there's new truths that are generated, and you uncover yourself, you evolve. So every day there can be new truth, so you never fully open yourself. It's just, I think the important thing is the habit, is building the habit of always putting yourself vulnerable, putting, like, removing layers, getting yourself naked and naked, and just build a habit of truth, build a habit of non-bullshit. And that's what I want to do.
yeah. But it made me remember, something else. I thought you will talk about that, but it's again with relationship and all that. It's funny how people want to know, they're like asking you a question, like they want to know you all the way or things like that. But you're like, it takes life almost to know yourself. Takes a life to know yourself. What do you expect? What do you expect in being in a relationship with someone or something like that, or with a coworker? Saying like, oh yeah, I know my friend, or I know my coworker, or I know my wife, or I know my husband, because I've been with them 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. I have friends that I had like since like 20 years, and I'm still discovering stuff about them, and it's amazing. It's awesome to discover stuff, because you're like, oh, I didn't know that part of you. I didn't know that thing. And this is why I think this is the most beautiful thing, because it's like you discover a new part of them, and it's almost like you discover a new treasure. It's almost like you got this new reward, a bit like in games where you unlock things, and each one of these relations that you have is like this path. And some of them stop somewhere, but some of them continues to grow, and they continue through time. And this is why I believe that if you're authentic with the people around you, if you're being your true self, if you're showing your colors, and you're not afraid about what can happen through that, you will have an amazing journey with those people.
You will find your tribe.
Yeah.
You will find the right person, the right relationship for you, because you show the real you.
Yeah.
Just think about all the best relationship you have in your life.
Yeah.
What's the common denominator?
Is being
You
my true
feel,
self.
yeah, you feel yourself. You feel you can say the truth. You feel you can be authentic. You don't have to put any mask, and you feel received in that same dynamic. You feel the other person also is true with you. You have deep discussion, and those are the most meaningful relationships. And
Yeah.
that's what everyone is lacking these days with all the
Yeah,
social
but it's
media and all
because
that bullshit.
no, but it's because it's hard, to be your true self. People will
Yeah, I'm not
hate
saying it's
people.
easy.
People will be jealous. People will beat, as I said, the last time or whatever. People will beat you up. You will make mistakes. You will believe that you can be naked with someone when you can't, and they will abuse that. And this is toxic relationship that you have to go out of it. And when I say toxic relationship, I'm talking about friends, coworkers, everything.
Yeah, but
I remember giving you the first time I was invited was at Fujitsu with a coworker where I accepted them on Facebook, and so I put photos of me doing a party and everything, and I arrive on the Monday and they're talking to everyone about my photos on Facebook, and I was like, okay, I understand, I know where to put you, because at that time I was not completely agreeing with who I was, and so I was not assuming it. So I discarded them as good friends. You know the kind of things that I mean? And it's
yeah.
and this is why it's really hard. This is why it's super hard. But you have to be courageous enough to continue to trying to strive for it.
And you said something. You said something that that's funny because I've came back to that quote this week, and it's a radical one, and I really like it. It's from Star Wars. You know what it is.
And
It's from our master Yoda, and he says, "Do or do not. There is no try. Don't try. Just do, or do not." And that's what I think everyone should strive for. And just before we end this, because we could go for an hour like every time we speak, I just had this feeling about, I would like if at the end of our discussion, I would like if we think about it, I would like that we recommend each other a book that we like or that fits some part of the discussion that I like. Let's say I see something that you've been struggling with, and at the end I'm telling you, hey, look, I think this book, you would get some gems out of it, and you could do the same. And I'm sure people listening, maybe they want to, if they relate to me, what I was saying, or the problem I was having, that they can clearly see, and they have also, then that book would be of great help. And for me, what I thought make yourself grow in the taking things personally direction is the four agreements. I don't know if it's the right title in English. I'll tell you which one it is, and I'll put the link down. But yeah, I really think this one, you will get a lot of gems out of that.
But what it is about?
What is about? Well,
in really short, before we finish.
Yeah, well, it's about an ancient civilization in Mexico, the Toltec. I don't know if it's the right word in English. And the four agreement is the four agreement that you do with yourself. They had a way to live that if you would live by these four agreements, then you would remove almost all the suffering in your life, and you would live a happy life. And they are really, really powerful, those agreements. And I'm not gonna explain all of them in the book, but the first one, which I think really apply, is don't take things personally. That's the first agreement. So yeah, I invite you to look that up, and everyone who's interested with it. Yeah, and I think we can end this around now, because it's already an hour. But
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing to talk with you. I love it.
Yeah, as usual. I do I recommend a book, or do I not recommend a book?
No, just if you feel like it, man.
I know there is a book that always comes into my mind because it's like it's a bit in link. You know, it's The Diamond Cutter, and I think we talked about this book.
Oh, you told me about it, but I forgot to note it.
So The Diamond Cutter is a monk, but he's a vice president in a diamond company, so which is quite funny. But I think it's one of the first books that taught me, you know, that things are not black and white. I mean, things are not black and white, good or bad. And that it's the way you see the thing and the influence you got before on your history experience that make you feel it good or bad. And it goes a little bit with your don't take things personally. It's try to have a bit of and there is other concept in there, but that was the main concept that I kept from it. And it really helped me for a lot of time, still helping me. So
Nice.
I will share it also, because I think it's a really great book that everybody should read, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I encourage you to be honest.
Yeah, and just before you finish, as usual, I want to finish on that the little marketing part that we don't like. But if you enjoy this episode, share it with your friends. As we said, you know, we want to be known by word of mouth. We said that in the last episode. We hope that you enjoyed listening to us. If you put some comments, we'll try to answer you when we can. And I'll leave Matt for the word of the end.
If you leave comment, we won't try to answer. We will do or we will not do.
Exactly.
But yeah, as always, I wish everyone to be themselves and to have fun, because I believe that's the most important thing. So thanks again for that amazing discussion. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, and I can feel our lives, both our life, evolving and growing a lot from these. And see you next week, man.
See you next week. That was awesome.